lesson, we've prepared a challenge for you. We've got a DIV, and we know its exact width and height. Can you move it to the vertical and horizontal center of the browser window? The challenge is the browser window's width and height are unknown. This requires us to use a percentage value to replace pixel value. First, we set the DIV to absolute position. Now, a question for you. For this DIV, who will its reference object be? If you can't answer this question, do not proceed. Review the previous lessons. Then we assign top 50% and left 50% to it. And we can see the top left corner of the DIV has been moved to the center of the browser window. You can also switch absolute position into fixed position. You'll get the same result. However, you should avoid using relative position here, because if you use relative position, you will only be able to move the DIV horizontally. Top 50% will not work. After the top left corner of the DIV has been moved to the browser window's center, we can start the second step. Have you ever wondered why I emphasize we knew the exact width and height of the DIV? Here's why. We need that width and height to calculate the margin value we need here. First, we divide the width and height of the DIV by half. Then, we use that value to set a negative margin top and margin left to the DIV. Refresh the page, and you'll find that the DIV has been placed to the center of the browser window perfectly. In the previous lesson, we've moved a DIV to the center of the browser window. In this lesson, we'll still be doing the same thing, but in a different way, with different tech combinations. For example, have you ever seen how a space shuttle is being launched into space? They'll use two rockets together. The first one will take the space shuttle to a certain height, then the second rocket will take over and carry on. This new method we're learning today is quite similar to launching a space shuttle. First, we need to use two DIVs. The first DIV will take its top left corner to the center of the browser window. From there, the second DIV will take over and make the final move. First, we create two DIVs, one parent DIV and one child DIV. The width and the height of the two DIVs will be set to the same value. To make this process clearer to you, we add a border to the parent DIV. Then we set the parent DIV to absolute position. We move its top left corner to the browser center using top 50% and left 50%. From this moment onward, the child DIV will take over. We set the child DIV to absolute position as well. But unlike the parent DIV, the child DIV will use its parent DIV as the reference object. As a result, the size of the parent DIV will be used as the base value as well. If you don't know why, once again, review the lessons on absolute position. Now, we assign top minus 50% and left minus 50% to the child DIV. If we refresh the page, the child DIV is now in the center of the browser window. Now, regarding these two technique combinations we've just shown you, you will probably never use them in your future development, but you should memorize them and be able to use them proficiently. The main reason we introduce them to you is to help you better understand the characteristics of margin, absolute position, and relative position. Of course, challenging your creativity is another purpose as well. When you are creating your own web pages, you'll never know what kinds of challenges are waiting for you. Your clients might have some very interesting designs in mind. By interesting, I actually mean weird. Therefore, it's vital that you have a thorough and clear understanding of all the commonly used positioning techniques. You must know clearly what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. Then you'll be able to find the best combination to get what you want.